This is going to be, I'm going to try to make a quick talking video. This is like my third or fourth time recording this, and every time I don't exactly care for how what I'm saying, because I want to sound intelligent and articulate, and sometimes I'm letting my, whether I have ADHD or what, I don't know, but letting my mind kind of wander with what I am and or what I'm trying to say, basically. And what it really comes down to is I need to kind of just think about it. And first and foremost, what I really want to say is about Benchmade is I was wrong. And I haven't been very vocal about it on my YouTube channel. I actually was on one video, and actually that's why I took that video down, because I felt like I was being unjust to Benchmade. I was being unfair to a company based off of my one experience and everybody else's experience. And it's not like I've had that many Benchmades to justify me saying what I think. And I think I was just jumping on the bandwagon when a company like Benchmade unfortunately started increasing their prices, when every other company was also increasing their prices. But I think the difference was with Benchmade increasing their prices versus other companies increasing their prices is Benchmade materials to begin with didn't seem like they were that stellar or that amazing to begin with. But that was just a lack of knowledge and a lack of open-mindedness on my end. The Benchmade bug out, in my opinion, has been one of the few examples that I have had with Benchmade, and one day I would love to get a few more Benchmades. One day, I would love to, but not today, not tomorrow, obviously, but one day. But the thing is, though, is that every time I get a Benchmade, I automatically realize why I love it, why I, wanted to get one in the first place. What is it about the knives that attract me? And what is it? Oops, sorry about that spring. What is it about? I don't know why my light keeps doing that, but cut it out. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. But anyways, why is it that I keep coming back, and why is it that I keep getting swayed to quote unquote not like Benchmade anymore? And I think the EDC world and knife reviewers have, unfortunately, a lot more say than I think people want to give them credit for. And sorry, been a little not under the weather so much, but I know it's January, but I get tons of allergies. Anyways, what I mean by that is I'm not going to call out any YouTubers. I'm not going to sit here and call out other people and stuff like that. But, a lot of YouTubers, just like Chris Reeves knives, a lot of YouTubers wanted to hate on Benchmade because, they're making an expensive knife with Grivery scales, which are glass infused nylon scales. They're using S30V material, blade material, which is outdated. They have these Omega springs, which people talk about how they break, but yeah, I haven't seen one person. I've heard people say the Omega springs break, but I still have yet to see any of the big time YouTubers, or just any YouTubers, or anybody who actually makes content about knives, show their Omega springs broken. And maybe I just haven't seen that video. Maybe I haven't. And if I haven't, I could be 100% wrong about that. This whole video is basically me saying I've been wrong. This whole video is me saying that, you know, I've been unjust to a company that is an American company, that is a great company, and maybe their quality has fluctuated, but think about this. How many other companies out there, and I'm talking mostly American-made companies. I'm not really talking about Chinese-made ones, and I'm also not talking about extremely high-end companies. I'm not talking about your, what are those knives? The Hinderers, or even the Chris Reeve knives, you know, to an extent, or even other high-end companies, you know, even ProTech, you know, to a certain extent. But how many of those other companies that I named are keeping their knives in stock as frequently as a company like Benchmade, or even a company like Spyderco? You know, I think Spyderco, you know, as much as I do love Spyder, and this video is not about Spyderco, but this is about Benchmade, but as much as I love Spyderco has had fails, but I feel like you never really hear about them, or people never really, because I feel like Spyderco has, maybe they have less fails than they do good ones, and maybe their fails they just take care of. But Benchmade's also similar to that. If they have a fail, if you just contact them and explain, hey, I have this issue, is there a way I could talk about it? Now, I have, on a few occasions, actually reached out to Benchmade. One was I was trying to see if I could get different scales, if I could buy different scales to try out. And even though they said no, they were extremely polite. They were extremely nice. And you know what they also did? They sent me a hat. I'm not saying they're going to do that for everybody, but they sent me a hat. Like, I was asking about scales, and I didn't even ask to get them for free or anything. I was just saying, hey, you know, can I purchase these scales if possible? And they sent me a hat for free. They didn't ask me to promote anything. They didn't ask me to do anything. They sent me a hat for free. There was another time, actually, back when I had my, when I first was starting to do videos about knives, and I did my don't get scammed video that everybody loves to comment on, and it's probably one of my largest knife videos, I should say, where I talked about every little nitty-gritty detail, which I actually missed a couple details, but I talked about every little nitty-gritty detail about what a fake Benchmade bug out is versus the real Benchmade bug out. And you know what? I contacted them and I said, hey, I think I might have gotten scammed. What can I do about it? And they were extremely nice. They said, hey, we're so sorry that happened to you. This is what you do. They were like, you can send it to us, we can evaluate it. Unfortunately, we'll have to destroy the knife, because if it is a fake, you know, then that goes against our guidelines, stuff like that, which was fully understandable. And I was able to figure out the knife was a fake, and I was able to get my money back and stuff like that for the knife. And I actually sent the knife back to the person who scammed me. So I was still not happy about that, because I really wanted to send to Benchmade to be destroyed. But that's a whole nother story. But Benchmade was extremely nice about it. So if people are having issues, why not contact Benchmade? Why not contact them and say, hey, you know, I'm having this issue. Is there any way we could deal with it? And I'm pretty sure they will. They have a lifetime warranty on their knives. You know, and the thing is, though, is that, like, when we talk about pay and we talk about how much things cost and everything else, how long does it take to basically make this knife? What if this knife takes a week? Okay, if it takes a week, right? And let's say that person, let's just take nice round numbers. That way it's easier in my head. If a person is, say, making $20 an hour, okay? I don't know how much knife makers make. I don't know how much people make in that type of career, but I know that in manufacturing industry, you could go between $20 and $30 an hour, give or take, depending on where you go and what you're doing and how much experience you have. So I'm just saying, let's just take $20 an hour, nice round number, easy to do math with, okay? One individual, $20 an hour in a 40-hour week is what, $800? So that person in a week, if this knife, say, took a week to make, this knife now costs technically $800. Now, I know that's not how it works exactly. I get that. Just follow me here, okay? So if they're, obviously if they're making, 20, 30, 40 of them, then that will start justifying the price of the person. But it's not just one person. You got somebody who's making the scales. You got somebody who's, putting it all together. You got somebody who's making the blade. Ooh, I just cut myself. Just a little one, nothing major. You got somebody who's sharpening these. You got somebody who's quality controlling them. You got somebody who's making sure everything works right. You got somebody who's making sure that the knife is doing what it's supposed to do, that it's sitting there and it's going to perform and function the way it should perform and function, okay? So when it comes to any kind of manufacturing, you have to factor in the person that is making everything. They have family to feed. They have, bills to pay themselves. Maybe they want to buy a knife. Who knows? But I mean, like, I know over here, and I'm in Massachusetts, which I've said many of times, we have oil. I have oil, and oil, to fill up your oil tank one time, from almost empty, or at least should say around a quarter of a tank, is close to easily $600, $700. So that is like 1 week of pay if you're making $20 an hour, and that's not including your mortgage, your electric, your anything else. So when it comes to these knives, I think we, and I'm including myself in this, I think we as consumers, we as reviewers, look at the materials and a piece of paper that says, this is what your specs are, this is what it is, this is what is what. And we sit there and we're like, oh, the specs on these knives aren't as good as X, Y, and Z company, But you know what? They're still doing a phenomenal job. They're still doing a great job. They're still making really reliable knives. They're still producing a knife that I enjoy carrying in my pocket. And they are making things for everybody. They have hard use knives, they have hunting knives, they have bushcraft knives, they have all these different things. So in my opinion, I think we, whether it's YouTubers or consumers, I think we need to reevaluate these items and how much these items cost. And what I mean by that is how much it costs, not only, when we see the price of thing, we shouldn't just look at the price and numbers. We should look at, what is offered. I mean, you're talking about great ergonomics, you're talking about great slicey blade, you're talking about great steel, stuff like that. And this isn't a review, this is just my thoughts on Benchmade and why I think more people should step out and give them a better chance. I'm already 15 minutes into this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about Benchmade. I know you will. Some people have said how much they hate Benchmade in my comments, you know, and I've been not fair. I will admit that I haven't been exactly justifiable with my fairness towards them, and you know what? That's gonna change. I've actually re-recorded a couple videos recently because I said things about Benchmade that, you know, I do regret. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. Let's have a healthy, nice, calm discussion. We could talk about why you don't like Benchmade, why you may feel the way you feel. Tell me if you have had experience with the Omega Springs breaking. Tell me if you know somebody who has. You know, I know they're a thinner piece of wire. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you feel. Take care, guys. Be safe. Be nice. Bye.